welcome to the PB&J channel. I'm Pete. My brother from another mother, Julian, is headed to New Hampshire, and I'm headed to Oklahoma. Thank you for inviting us into your personal space and taking time out to listen to what this ugly mug's got to say or to share with you. In the first video, our introduction that we put out there, I spoke about being in law enforcement, and that was Patrol K9 CSI detective, and then finally State Patrol or State Police, and did motor carrier enforcement. Well, I would like to talk about how I failed my first DOT inspection. Now you might think, that cannot be. But actually, yeah. You know, still, I get nervous when I go across weigh stations. It's like my butt's trying to suck up my seat. I just want to get across that scale and be on my way, all right? Oh my gosh, if you guys have ever hauled a park model, you know what I'm talking about. It's a brick on wheels, and it's heavy, okay? But see, I didn't, or wasn't educated enough to look at the load board to go, oh crap, that's a park model. Oh yeah, it pays $1.81, but it ain't gonna be worth it because it's just gonna suck the fuel out. I got a park model going to, what is that, Medford, Oregon. So here's my thought process. Good money, and a little bit heavy, but yeah, I got a truck that can handle it. Right. Okay, well anyways, here I am in Utah, fixed to go into Nevada, and it says port of entry, and I'm eastbound, and there's no buildings on my side. However, there's buildings on the westbound side, and I thought that's odd, you know? So, I passed through there, and something's kind of eating on me, and I'm like, man, I think I need a permit to be in this state, you know? So I called Julian, and I'm like, hey, bub, do I need a permit for this state? He goes, yeah. I said, well, I went through the port of entry, and nobody stopped me. He said, I didn't think Nevada had port of entries. I said, well, that's what it said. And he goes, well, we get ours through a vendor, a third party. So there's an 800 number I'm supposed to call, purchase the permit. My company pays me back for the permit. So he didn't have that number. I call my dispatch. Dispatch doesn't have that number, so he directs me to somebody who has it. Well, who they gave me to didn't, and said, I will get it and I will call you back. And I said, fantastic, thank you. I'm not kidding you. It's within a minute. 1 minute. I'm getting pulled over by DOT. So I hit the shoulder. I have factory tinted glass here, so I drop my back window. That way the officer can see in the vehicle and see how many occupants are in there. I dropped my passenger. Well, both of those windows I dropped. And it's all about officer safety. You know, he's already, nervous ain't the word. We are trained, and it is drilled in our head that traffic stops, and this is a proven fact, traffic stops and domestics will get you killed the fastest. Oh, man. So, that being said, my hands are on the steering wheel, windows are down. I'm ready to comply and listen to what he has to say. So he approaches the vehicle. I introduce myself, let him know that I'm a former motor carrier enforcement officer. And he's like, well, hey, my name's so-and-so. I'm also a motor carrier enforcement. And he said, man, you're going to be an easy one to inspect. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm going to get my sticker. I'm going to get my CVSA sticker on my truck. I'm excited, okay? So he says, can I have your registration, please? I was like, sure. So I reached over and was digging in my, well, I'm like pointing at the glove compartment. Can I get in there? He's like, well, yeah. You know, so I dig in there. It's not in there. Okay. Now I'm getting nervous. So I'm like, how about my armrest? Can I get into my armrest? He goes, well, yeah. So, you know, open it up, and I'm digging through it, and I don't find it. And I close it. And I just happened to look down my permit book. So I pulled my book out, I opened it up, page 1, right there is my registration. And I said, well, you look at that, it's where it's supposed to be. You know, and it kind of chuckles. So I hand him my book, my driver's license, and he says, okay, all I need is your permit. And I'm fixing to say, I'm like, oh, I say, well, that I don't have. And then my phone rings. And just out of respect for the officer, it was automatic. I declined the phone call. And I said, oh, actually, that was my work calling me back to give me information about the permit. And he goes, oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I see. Well, I'm going to go ahead and start your inspection. And I was like, wow, really? I wish I would have asked him to answer that, because now it looks like I was telling him a lie. Which made me think, how many times somebody told me the truth, but it just didn't sound like it was the truth, okay? So he's doing the inspection on the truck, and apparently he has somebody with him to help him out, because he's doing the blinkers and that, and then like somebody over here, this individual that he's talking to, gets under my vehicle, and he passes, the officer passes by, and he tells me, let me go do this and I'll be right back. And I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting here what seems like, forever. And he walks up to the vehicle. Now, I'm going to explain to you how some laws are written so you understand this. The laws give officers in certain situations discretion. That discretion is, example, I catch you doing 65 and a 50, I can write you a ticket for 15 over the limit. So it says in the law, I may cite, okay? I may cite, may, keyword. So I can write you a warning and send you off with a warning. However, if the law states I must write a citation, I have no discretion. I have to write the citation. That's all there is to it. So that being said, when the officer approaches the vehicle, he hands me back my stuff, and then his camera is center of his chest, and he goes, I must write a citation for not having a permit to travel across Nevada. I said, I understand. And he handed me my paperwork. Well, yeah. So then, here comes all the stuff I got to sign. So I'm signing, a citation, of course, which was $75 for no permit. Second, I signed the DOT paperwork, which, oh my God, he failed me. He failed me. Even though the truck was mechanically fine, he failed me. So I looked at him and I said, you failed me on my DOT inspection over the permit. He goes, yes, that's part of what is required to pass. And I said, but no other state. No, there's only something. Can you explain this to me? And he goes, sure. I know the state you come from doesn't require a permit to pass. And I said, yes. He goes, so if you were doing a DOT inspection on a vehicle and they were a day behind on their logs, are you going to fail them on that inspection? I was like, even though it has nothing to do with the safety of the truck. And I said, you're absolutely right. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, I got it, So, yeah, I had to inform my company the next day that I did that on the iPad, and there's something you go to, an app, or, anyways, I had to fill that out, take pictures, send it off, called them the next morning, they said they're aware, and like most companies out there, if you pass an inspection, they pay you. If you fail an inspection, they fine you. So I get a fine from the state of Nevada, I get a fine from my company, plus it goes against me on my record. So that being said, I should have paid attention. We should have paid better attention in orientation, because they do go over that. So I'm going to share it with you real quick, just in case it might have slipped your mind. You have New Mexico and Arizona that require permits. You have Wyoming that requires permits, Idaho that requires permits, and Nevada that requires permits. So please keep those in mind. That way you don't go through what I went through, because you don't need this stuff following you around on your report. No, excuse me, just adjusting. So that's what it boils down to, and it's just attention to detail. Kind of like a military saying. You guys out there know what I'm talking about if you serve, or maybe they use that, and well, I guess that could be applied to in any job out there. Well, on the next video, Julian and I were going to kind of touch bases on relationship, being away from home, and this windshield time. That maybe it's the first time you heard that term, windshield time. That just basically means you have nothing, but you're looking through your windshield. You got 500 miles to go, and you have nothing to do but think. Okay, think. Sometimes that'll jump up and bite you in the butt. So be safe out there. Keep it between the lines. The rubber's on the road. If the rubbers go up, I pray they land back down on the rubber. Keep it safe. Thank you again for welcoming me into your personal space. And God bless. Until next time, take care.